Hello, my beautiful friends. Evelyn here, and I want to begin today with a name that changed the history of fashion, and that is directly responsible for the fact that we're having this conversation at all. Yves Saint Laurent, 1968. The year he presented what fashion historians now call the saharienne, a jacket so precisely tailored, so artfully belted, so completely unexpected in its translation of expedition utility into pure Parisian elegance, that it shifted something fundamental about how the fashion world understood the relationship between function and beauty. The modern interpretation owes much to Yves Saint Laurent, who transformed utilitarian attire into high fashion. His iconic saharienne jacket, belted and sharply tailored, remains a cornerstone of the look. Safari style is femininity meeting all-out practicality, a wardrobe language that whispers confidence while keeping pace with real life. Whispers confidence. That phrase is everything. Not announces confidence, whispers it. And that distinction is the entire difference between safari dressing that looks extraordinarily chic and safari dressing that looks like a costume. Spring/summer 2026's rugged mix of utility, cargo, and khaki is all about fashion made functional. The grounded answer to last summer's boho renaissance. Safari for summer may not be groundbreaking, but it is the perfect companion to the current season's most sophisticated looks. According to the runway, the high summer heroes are cargo shorts and leather belts, but the real sophistication comes from layering basics like tank tops and sheer shirts as the foundation for great utility looks. Today, 10 safari looks for summer 2026, each one decoded for the specific visual principles that make it elegant rather than literal, sophisticated rather than thematic, genuinely wearable rather than limited to one specific adventure. And watch for the 7th look. It breaks what most women assume is the most fundamental rule of safari dressing. It removes the element we've been conditioned to believe the aesthetic absolutely requires. And the outfit becomes more luxurious because of it. That look, in particular, carries the visual intelligence behind the entire safari philosophy. Look number 1, the belted saharienne jacket, the original, still the standard. At its core, safari style is about balance. A nipped-in waist paired with generous pockets. Soft, breathable fabrics cut into structured silhouettes. Earthy tones, khaki, olive, sand, stone, anchored by crisp whites and sun-washed neutrals. It is the rare fashion formula that feels both intentional and effortless. Polished yet unpretentious. The saharienne jacket is where this aesthetic began, and it remains its most sophisticated single expression. But the version that reads as genuinely current in 2026 is not the boxy, heavily pocketed utility jacket of a literal expedition wardrobe. It's something considerably more refined, a jacket in light khaki or warm olive linen with a defined shoulder, 4 pockets, 2 chests, 2 hip, and a self-tie or leather belt at the natural waist. The belt is non-negotiable. Without it, the saharienne reads as a shirt. With it, it becomes architecture, the waist definition that transforms utility into elegance and creates the specific proportional story that makes this jacket so universally flattering. The specific combination that makes a saharienne jacket look genuinely expensive rather than simply utilitarian. Wear it over a fine gauge ivory or cream camisole with straight leg or wide leg linen trousers in a slightly deeper, warm neutral, warm sand or camel. The jacket provides the structure. The trouser provides the flow. The ivory camisole provides the light near the face, and the leather belt in cognac ties the entire cappuccino tonal gradient together. Pointed toe flat sandals in warm tan, a structured bag in chocolate leather, one pair of gold hoop earrings. That's the complete look. And it belongs equally on a Paris terrace, a Nairobi hotel courtyard, and an ordinary Tuesday in any city with a good restaurant. Tell me, do you already own something that functions as a saharienne jacket? A linen blazer with pockets, perhaps, that you haven't thought of in this way? I'd love to know. Look number 2, the linen co-ord in sun-washed khaki, the complete tonal statement. The matching safari set, wide leg trouser and structured shirt or blouse in the same sun-washed khaki or warm olive linen is the 2026 expression of safari at its most immediately wearable. One decision in the morning, one coherent, complete visual statement for the entire day. When summer turns the city into a slow-moving heat haze and the working day stretches between meetings, commutes, and late afternoon sun, style becomes a negotiation between elegance and survival. This is where safari dressing steps in, an aesthetic born from adventure, refined by couture, and now reimagined for the modern woman navigating an urban landscape. The specific tonal principle for a safari co-ord that reads as expensive rather than uniform. The two pieces should be in the same color family, but in subtly different textures. A slightly rougher linen weave for the trouser and a smoother, more refined linen for the blouse. That surface variation within one color creates exactly the visual depth we explored in our cappuccino dressing conversation. Harmony first, then detail. The complete look, ivory or warm white camisole visible at the neckline, a fine leather belt in tobacco or cognac at the waist of the trouser, flat woven sandals in warm tan, a natural raffia or woven leather tote, gold jewelry, one long chain, one earring with real presence. The co-ord does all the heavy lifting. The accessories simply confirm that every decision was made on purpose. Look number 3, the safari dress. Relaxed structure in a single garment. The safari dress, a shirt dress in khaki, linen, or cotton with chest pockets, a subtle button placket, and a midi length that creates an elongated, clean silhouette, is the safari look that requires the absolute least from you. One garment, zero coordination decisions. And when the dress is the right cut, it provides the complete visual vocabulary of this aesthetic entirely on its own. The utility detail of the pockets, the natural warmth of the khaki or olive color, the relaxed but structured feel of a shirt translated into a dress rather than a top. The dress is a must for the luxury resort experience. Its clean design provides a bright contrast to the earthy tones of safari, and the layering principle is what makes a simple dress feel elegant enough for a sundowner evening. The specific detail that distinguishes a safari dress that looks expensive from one that simply looks casual, the shoulder seam must sit precisely at the shoulder point, not sliding toward the upper arm, not pulling toward the neck. A correctly placed shoulder seam on a shirt dress creates an architectural clarity that the eye reads as deliberate tailoring. Combined with a leather belt or a self-tie at the waist to create definition, the safari shirt dress produces one of the most complete and sophisticated single garment looks available in summer 2026. Look number 4, the khaki trouser and white blouse combination, the pure foundation. Here's the safari look that strips the aesthetic to its most essential elements, and that in doing so produces something more luxurious than any amount of additional utility detail could achieve. A pair of khaki or warm sand wide leg linen trousers, beautifully cut with a flat waistband and enough drape to move with you rather than hanging away from the body. A clean, crisp, white or ivory linen blouse, structured enough at the collar to stay lifted and clean through hours of wear. A leather belt in tobacco, cognac loafers, a structured bag in warm chocolate. That's the entire outfit. No cargo pockets, no expedition details, no obvious utility reference beyond the earth tone palette and the natural fabric. This is where safari dressing becomes most interesting, when the earthy tones and natural textures remain, but the utility elements are removed entirely. The result whispers the aesthetic rather than announcing it, and that whisper is always more sophisticated than any announcement. This is the look I referenced in the opening, the one that removes the element most women assume safari absolutely requires. And when the utility details are gone, what remains is something more refined, a color story and a fabric story that communicate confidence, warmth, and natural sophistication without ever asking for expedition credentials. Look number 5, the olive linen set with a woven accessory story. Olive is the safari palette's most complex color, and its most rewarding. Where khaki can occasionally drift toward flat or slightly institutional, olive carries a botanical depth that reflects differently depending on the light, the fabric, and the surface it's placed beside. The specific olive that reads as luxurious rather than military. A warm, dusty, slightly muted version, closer to sage green meets khaki than to the bright army olive of utilitarian workwear. In a high-quality linen, this shade develops the kind of visual complexity that only natural fibers can produce, catching more warmth in afternoon light, appearing cooler and more sophisticated in indoor lighting. The look, an olive linen wide leg trouser paired with an olive linen blouse in a slightly lighter shade. That deliberate non-match principle from our cappuccino conversation applied directly here. A cream or ivory camisole at the neckline. A natural leather belt in cognac. A woven rattan or raffia bag, the accessory that introduces the most authentically safari-inflected texture note available. The woven bag is the single most efficient way to signal the safari aesthetic without adding a single piece of utility clothing. It says, natural materials, considered choices, warm weather ease in one object, while working perfectly with everything from a plain white dress to the most considered safari ensemble. Look number 6, the safari blouse with white wide leg trousers, the contrast that refreshes. Here's the look that introduces the sharpest tonal contrast available within the Safari palette, and that produces the most immediately striking visual result. The Safari blouse, a utility-inspired top in warm khaki, warm olive, or tobacco linen with chest pockets and a relaxed collar, paired with wide leg trousers in crisp white or warm ivory. The contrast between the earth-toned utility top and the clean, bright bottom creates exactly the visual energy that tonal Safari looks avoid. Not the calm of a single color family, but the clarity of deliberate opposition between warm earth and fresh light. An oversized button-down shirt is a versatile piece that every woman should have in her wardrobe. It is comfortable, nearly universally flattering, and can be dressed up or down depending on the occasion. An oversized blouse can be styled with a more body-conscious bottom garment to balance the volume. The specific proportion principle for this combination: the utility blouse worn loose and untucked at the front, with just the back and sides gently tucked. The half tuck principle applied to a blouse rather than a shirt, creating waist suggestion without waist restriction. White leather loafers, a small structured bag in warm tan, gold jewelry only. The white trousers do the elongating work. The khaki blouse does the Safari storytelling. The combination does something neither could accomplish alone. Tell me, does this contrast combination feel more accessible to you than the full tonal Safari look? I genuinely want to know where this community's comfort level is. Look number 7, the look without utility, the most sophisticated Safari of all. And here it is, the look I promised at the beginning, the one that removes what most women believe to be the essential element of Safari dressing, and becomes more luxurious because of its absence. No pockets, no cargo detail, no expedition reference, no utility element of any kind. A flowing warm camel midi dress in a beautiful linen or cotton silk blend, a leather belt in deep cognac at the natural waist, flat leather sandals in the same warm tone, a woven leather bag with structural detail, long gold earrings, a pair of warm tortoiseshell sunglasses. The outfit communicates everything Safari communicates: the warmth of earth tones, the naturalness of linen fabric, the ease of a relaxed silhouette, the sun-washed palette of a warm, beautiful, unhurried place without a single literal utility reference. The urban Safari woman is not chasing trends. She is defining her own rhythm. Safari style is the reminder that practicality can be beautiful, that structure can be sensual, and that the most enduring fashion often comes from the pieces designed to be lived in. This is the look that most elegantly demonstrates the difference between wearing a trend and inhabiting an aesthetic. The trend requires the pockets, the cargo detail, the explicit utility reference. The aesthetic requires only the colors, the fabric, and the ease, and produces something far more sophisticated than any amount of expedition hardware could. Look number 8, the animal print accent, one element, maximum restraint. Animal print belongs to the Safari aesthetic by association, and it's one of the most powerful tools available within this palette, when handled with the specific restraint that makes it elegant rather than theatrical. The styling mistake that instantly pushes Safari from quiet luxury into too much, and I promised I'd name it, is wearing more than one animal print element in a single outfit. Two animal print pieces or an animal print piece alongside an animal print accessory creates a visual competition that the eye registers immediately as excess. The print is no longer a considered choice, it's a theme. The specific approach that produces the most sophisticated result, one animal print element against completely solid, calm pieces everywhere else. A leopard print silk scarf tied loosely at the neck of a khaki linen dress. The print introduces personality and warmth while the dress stays completely composed. A snakeskin effect leather bag beside a solid olive outfit. The texture adds visual complexity to a simple base. A subtle animal print flat sandal against wide-leg camel trousers and a white blouse. The shoe carries the safari reference without the outfit becoming its captive. One. Always one. The restraint is the luxury. Look number 9, the Safari Feminine, introducing softness into an earthy palette. Layering basics like tank tops and sheer shirts are the foundation for so many great utility looks. The sheer layer against an earthy palette produces exactly the feminine softness that modernizes the safari aesthetic in 2026. Here's the look that makes safari dressing specifically welcoming for women who love the palette but feel uncertain about the utility aesthetic's inherent severity. Introduce one distinctly feminine element into an otherwise earth-toned structured outfit. A sheer linen or voile blouse in warm ivory, one you can see the strap of a camisole through at the shoulder, layered over wide-leg khaki trousers. The sheer quality of the fabric introduces lightness and femininity without changing the palette's warmth or the silhouette structure. The camisole visible at the neckline and shoulder provides the luminous, skin-adjacent warmth that faces need near them. Alternatively, a flowing khaki midi skirt, not straight cut like a utility piece, but with gentle movement and drape, paired with a fitted ivory blouse at the waist. The skirt's movement against the structured blouse creates the structural versus soft balance that defines every great outfit in this community's style vocabulary. The feminine safari look is often the one that generates the most compliments, precisely because it synthesizes two qualities that most people associate with separate aesthetic categories: the grounded confidence of earth tones and utility structure, and the graceful ease of feminine drape and soft fabric. Look number 10, the Sunset Elevation Safari Dress for Evening. And here, finally, is the look that most women don't realize safari dressing is capable of. The evening expression of this aesthetic that requires no dramatic departure from everything we've established today. The same palette, the same fabric vocabulary, the same earthy, warm, sun-washed color story, but elevated through 3 specific choices: a deeper tone, a more luminous fabric, and accessories that carry more evening weight. A deep tobacco or warm chocolate linen silk blended midi skirt, the fabric catching the light more richly than a daytime linen, the color carrying the depth of the espresso anchor at the evening's lower register. A warm ivory silk look blouse with a beautifully draped neckline. The slight sheen of the fabric introducing luminosity that matte daytime fabrics deliberately avoid. And gold jewelry with real presence, not the delicate daytime hoop, but a longer, more significant earring that draws the eye upward and frames the face for an evening context. Active luxury pieces that are durable but elegant enough for a sundowner. The concept is the same: pieces that work beautifully through a full day and transition completely into evening through the quality of their materials rather than through replacement. The complete evening safari look, the tobacco midi skirt, the ivory silk blouse, gold sculptural earrings, a small structured bag in deep cognac leather, and flat leather sandals with an elegant strap in warm metallic gold or warm tan. No costume, no theme, no departure from the warmth and naturalness of everything we've built through the first 9 looks. Simply the most sophisticated expression of the same vocabulary, the evening version of a language you've been learning to speak all day. Ten looks. One vocabulary. One set of principles that determines whether each one whispers luxury or announces effort. In a season where the city feels hotter, faster, and more demanding, safari style offers a grounded elegance. It is the reminder that practicality can be beautiful, that structure can be sensual, and that the most enduring fashion often comes from the pieces designed to be lived in. This summer, the urban safari woman is not chasing trends. She is defining her own rhythm, one perfectly tailored pocket at a time. That rhythm, unhurried, warm, completely settled in its own visual language, is what the 10 looks today have been building toward. Not a costume requiring a specific occasion, not a trend that will disappear by next year. A sensibility. The understanding that the most beautiful summer dressing draws from the natural world, from warm earth tones and breathable fabrics and relaxed structures, and translates them into clothing that honors both the body wearing it and the world it moves through. The tiny styling mistake I promised to name: too many utility elements competing simultaneously. 3 pockets, a cargo detail, a belt with hardware, a bucket hat, and an animal print accessory, each individually defensible, collectively overwhelming. The rule that prevents this: choose one utility element per look and let everything else retreat into calm elegance. One saharienne jacket, everything else smooth. One woven bag, everything else structured. One animal print scarf, everything else solid. One. Always one. The restraint is always, always the luxury. Now tell me, gorgeous, which of these 10 safari looks is the one you're wearing first this summer? Is it the belted saharienne jacket that started everything? The khaki linen co-ord as the complete tonal statement? The safari shirt dress that requires nothing additional? The pure foundation of khaki trousers and white blouse? The olive set with the woven accessory story? The safari blouse against white wide-leg trousers? The 7th look, the look without utility, the most sophisticated safari of all. The animal print accent rule of 1, the feminine safari with a sheer blouse or flowing skirt, or the sunset elevation, safari dress for an evening that deserves it. Drop your answer in the comments. And tell me whether safari has always felt like your language, or whether today's video has made it feel accessible for the first time. This community's responses consistently show me that style instinct has nothing to do with age, and I read every single message you leave here.